Welcome to the 5 for 2 podcast with me, your host Adele, where we say no to careers where you're trading 5 days of misery for 2 days of fun. A place we discuss all things career, confidence, and money moves. I want to motivate, teach, and empower ambitious women to achieve more, earn more, feel more confident, and enjoy the work they do. It's all about believing you can have everything you want in your career and then going and getting it. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Hello. Welcome to another episode. Today, we are talking about why can't it be you? And when I say that, what I'm talking about is somebody is getting shortlisted for jobs. Somebody is changing industry. Somebody is getting the 30 and 40k pay rises or the 50%, 56% like I spoke about one of my listeners got recently. Somebody is getting the offers and somebody's getting the money. So why can't that be you? The job market is hard right now. It's not even that it's hard. It is so confusing. It is so chaotic. It is so different from any other job market. But that has not stopped people changing industry, getting paid more, upgrading their current roles, getting promoted. It's still happening. It's just happening differently. It's happening slower, but it's happening. So why can't that be you? And today I'm going to talk about why it might not be you and how we can make sure it is you. Because if my clients are doing it, if some of my listeners are doing it, the rest of you can do it. You just have to approach this job market differently. It's like anything. If you just want to date someone, the way you approach the situation is going to be different from if you are dating for marriage. If you are dating for fun versus dating for marriage, the way you approach it is different. That's the same thing now. If you're serious about anything, you will approach it differently. Understanding that things are different. Friendships, you don't approach all your friendships the same. You might have one type of relationship with one friend and a totally different relationship with another friend. Why? Because different situations require different versions of you. And it's all still you, but it just requires a different approach. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to start off with getting shortlisted because that's the first and foremost. You can't change jobs, change industry, get paid more unless you know how to get shortlisted. Obviously, it's different if you're trying to get paid more in your current job, but for now, let's talk about when you're trying to move, when you're trying to leave, when you're trying to do something different. The difference between getting shortlisted and not getting shortlisted is the quality of your CV, the quality of your networking, and the quality of your applications. So how can you make sure your CV is getting shortlisted? First and foremost, this is an exercise I get every one of my clients to do because this is how I write CVs. It is also an exercise I've told you guys to do before if you go back and listen to the CV episode. But you grab the job description or you grab the job advert. I prefer a job advert over a job description because job adverts are summaries of all the key points in a job description. You go through it. And then you look at your CV and say, does my CV talk to this job advert? So the job advert is asking for someone who deals with stakeholders, is able to influence stakeholders, is able to manage the customer experience. Does your CV talk to that? Do you use any of those words in your CV? Have you made a connection? Have you shown how you manage customer experience? How many customers are you dealing with on a weekly basis? How have you improved their experience? What processes have you changed? What part of the customer journey have you improved? Have you talked about any of that in either your CV summary or your actual CV bullet points? If not, then your CV is not the answer to that job advert and it will not get shortlisted. You can use the same CV for different jobs, but only if the job descriptions read the same. Some of you will send out the one CV to 20 different jobs, and all of those jobs have totally different job descriptions. They don't read the same, but yet you've sent the same CV, and then you're wondering why you're not getting shortlisted. Even before the job market got the way it is, the one thing I always had my clients do and why they were always able to change industry is make sure your CV is the answer to a job advert. So the job advert's a question. The question is, we're looking for this. We're looking for someone who can do X, Y, Z. Your CV should say, I can do X, Y, Z. It is an answer to a question. It is a solution to a problem. Second, metrics. Does your CV have the metrics? The numbers? Are you talking numbers? Are you telling them how much money you've made, how much money you've saved, how many customers you work with, how many clients you work with, how big the database is, how many hundreds or thousands of people you run payroll for? Have you talked your numbers? Numbers make everything just sound better. Literally, that's what it does. This is how you get shortlisted. I'm summarizing because, like I said, you can go back and listen to the CV episode. But the first thing is, how do I get shortlisted? How are you getting in the room? If you're sending out your CV and you're not getting shortlisted, it's one of two things. There are just stronger candidates. And that can always happen in any situation. Doesn't matter how much experience you've got, doesn't matter how many years you've been doing it, there might just be stronger candidates. But a lot of the time, they got internal referrals. They're just advertising that job because that's the process. But actually, they already know who they want to hire, or they've already got a few referrals, and they're the people that they're going to go with. And that leads me on to networking. Are you networking? Are you reaching out to the hiring manager that they show you is on LinkedIn and saying, I'm really interested in applying for this role. I just wondered how far you were in the process. And is there anything specific that the candidate has to have? If they respond to you, which most of them will, especially if they've advertised a job on LinkedIn and they have shown themselves to be the hiring manager or shown themselves to be the recruiter, like you can see their name very obviously, they'll usually respond. When they do, read the response. If the response says, yep, we're still looking on this for this role and the key things we're looking for are X, Y, Z. Can you do X, Y, Z? Stop caring about all the other things they've mentioned. They've mentioned those 3 specific things, which means they're the things they care about the most. Does your CV talk to those things? When you fill out your application, does it talk to those things? And a lot of you listening are going to be like, oh, I hate writing a CV and then having to fill out an application. This is the trick. Have a master CV that's got everything on it. And if you haven't got a master CV, the next time you fill out an application form, copy and paste all your answers to a document. Save that document. Guess what? The next time you apply to a job, you can just copy and paste those same answers into the new job application, as long as they read the same. So if it's asking you the exact same type of questions and they have the exact same type of requirements, copy and paste. I have a master CV that's got to be about, 7 pages, 8 pages. I don't even know how long it is. It's ridiculously long. I would never send it out anywhere. But it has everything I've ever done. And guess what? I can copy and paste relevant information that goes with certain jobs. Because something a lot of you do, and I want anyone listening to remember this, when you write out your CV summary or you write out a job application, you think mostly about your current job or your last 2 jobs. You forget about the experience you had 10 years ago that actually might be relevant for this job. And you forget that it might need highlighting. Like when I was young, I worked in Sainsbury's. I stacked shelves. I did the tills. I dealt with a lot of customers on a daily basis. I ran the customer service desk. Like I did a lot. And that experience is not relevant now to anything that I do. So why would I put it on? However, if I was going into retail, if I was going into some sort of sales that was very customer facing, like as in I'm there, I got to see them every day, I would reference that experience in my summary. I might not have the job in my actual list of employment because it's such a long time ago, but I'll reference it. Why? Because that's going to make them be like, oh, at some point she's had some sort of experience. Oh, let's get her in to find out more. Once they talk to me, oh, you're going to give me the job because I'm going to convince you to give me the job. So let's get shortlisted. Let's get in the room. Let's just at least get in the room. We need to work on our interview skills because there's no point in getting in the room and then not being able to convert to an offer. But if you're not even in the room, you're not even in the running. So let's start there. Get shortlisted. Get your CV right. Get in the room. I know some of you feel like doing the work on your CV is so long-winded. However, isn't it more annoying to send out your CV to like 30 places and not get shortlisted? I'd rather send out my CV to 3 places and get shortlisted for all 3 because I took the time to do the work on the beginning end, which is your CV and your application. Next, interviews. Now, your interview is a longer version of your CV. That's the way I see it. It is not a repeat of your CV, but it is more a deep dive, a deeper explanation, more information for them. So again, we should be talking about metrics, numbers. Numbers make everything sound great. I've said this and I'll always say it. So talk more about your numbers. Also, and I didn't mention this for your CV, but you do need to do this on your CV also, results over lists of duties. So they're asking you about your experience and you're like, I have, and then you just start listing. I manage the database. I work with lots of different stakeholders. I run the payroll. I am a head hostess and I serve customers. Listen, stop listing your duties. It doesn't sound impressive. It also sounds very entry level. Now, if you are entry level, I totally understand why you would do this. And the effort you need to put into an entry level role is different from what you need to put into a senior level role. However, if you are entry level and you're listening to this, put in the same effort. You will be more impressive at entry level if you are talking at a higher level, and you will probably land the job because of the simple fact that they're going to be like, I can't believe this person is applying for entry level. Also, you may get offered something else because of that. They may say to you in the interview, oh, you seem really experienced, like too experienced for entry level. Be ready with an answer on why that's not the case. You always have to be ready to counter anything that someone says. So you can be like, oh, no, it's not that I'm too experienced. This would be a great opportunity because I've never worked for such a big company. I've never done XYZ. Although I've got the experience in this, it would be great to do it on a bigger scale. Be ready with your answer. But when you impress at interview, people want to offer you the job because you're impressive, because you're memorable, because you stand out. How do you stand out? You don't talk about a list of duties. You talk about the results. You talk about why everything you do matters. So like, if you, I don't know, if you manage the database for your company, why does that matter? Maybe you're managing the database because it keeps the sales team in line so that they can see what's working and what's not working, so that they can do more of what's working to increase sales. There you go. You indirectly impact sales. Because without you keeping everything organized, they wouldn't know what they should be doing on a day-to-day basis. So what are the results of what you do? You manage the customer experience, you manage the customer journey. You making the customer journey better, whether that's online or in person, increases your company sales. If customers aren't happy, they're not going to spend their money there. So what are the results of what you do? It is so, so important. Think about every result that you create. Think about all the duties you do. And this is a good exercise. Write down everything you do, just a list of what you do. And then next to it, I want you to write down what the result is. Does it help improve staffing? Like if you're a leader, does it help upskill the team? Does it develop the team? Does it make them more efficient? Have you improved processes? Are you making money? Are you saving money? Are you increasing the customer base? Are you managing the current customer base so that they can retain customers and not lose money? Let's think about it. Are you getting new business on because you're the sales team? Think about what the results are. This is the difference between being paid 40K and being paid 60K. Honestly, the difference is how people speak. Also, I want you to remove words like assist, help, support. You didn't assist, you didn't help, you didn't support. You led, you ran, you drove, you pioneered. Like there are so many other words you could use. You created, you designed. We didn't assist, help, or support. Yeah. Even when, if you're an entry level person and you're saying to me, but Adele, I did assist, I did help, you collaborated. Sometimes it is okay to use those words assist, help, and support, but not when we're going for more senior roles, not when we're trying to make more money. We collaborated, we liaised, we did a lot of things. Yeah. You can say, I assisted in the development of, right? Or you can say, I collaborated with a team to deliver. Like, just listen to what I'm saying and think about what sounds better. It is really that straightforward. Like, what sounds better? What's more impressive? What is going to make you stand out? The one who sounds more junior or the one who sounds like they can hit the ground running? And a lot of these companies, let's be real, they are very lazy and they don't want to train you right now. They want the best talent for the lowest money. Now, if you're the best talent and you still have a price tag, you can get the job, but you need to show them you are the best. And the best did not assist, help, or support. The best collaborated, liaised. Okay? You worked with. Okay? You contributed to. Yeah? You contributed to the overall success of. Do you see? It's the same thing. It just sounds different. It just makes you have a different standing. I also want you to remove these words from your vocabulary when you're at interview. I think I'll be able to do it. If someone trains me, I'll be able to do it. I'm not sure, but maybe with some assistance or some help or some support, I'll be able to do it. Listen, I've just said it. Companies are lazy. They don't want to have to train you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be trained. We all need to be trained. It doesn't matter if you're really experienced at a job. Every company does things differently. So they need to train you in their processes. That's a different conversation. I'll be telling them, like, this is what I'm great at. Obviously, I'll need to learn the way you guys do it, but this is why I'm great. Listen, you could say I was given the opportunity to learn something, or you could say I've recently been leading. I've led 7 projects. I manage XYZ. Because I'm able to deliver at such a high level, my boss has given me additional responsibilities. That sounds so much better than I was given the opportunity. Like they did you a favor. No, we need to take all these words out of our vocabulary. I think I'll be able to. No, you should know that you'll be able to. If you're not sure if you'll be able to do the job, when you go for interview and you're like, oh, I think I'll be able to do it. If you only think you are able and the next person knows they're able to do it, who do you think they're going to hire? And you're going to say to me, oh, Adele, but what if I'm not able to do it? What do you mean, what if you're not able to? Why are you applying for the job? Even if you're not sure if you can do it now, you're applying to the job because you know you'll be able to do it long term. Like eventually you'll be able to learn it. You have the skill set to be able to learn and implement that job. Otherwise, why would you go for it? So that means I know I'll be able to do it. Because in the past, I've done X, Y, Z. In the past, I've been able to learn things really quickly. So therefore, why would you not learn really quickly in this new job? So therefore, you'll be able to do it. I need to be trained. We need to stop saying that first and foremost. We need to stop saying immediately, oh, if you train me, I'll be able to do it. What are they getting in return for training you? Do you see? We need to tell them what we can give them. It's very similar to when I said to you guys, if you want to negotiate a salary, you need something to negotiate with. No one's just going to give you something for nothing. So what are you giving them for them to train you in other ways? So you need to be saying to them, I can come to this company and this is the value I can bring. This is what I can contribute. This is what you're looking for and this is how I'll be able to do it. Then in return, if you're asking them for training, it is a very different conversation. But if you lead with, oh, I'll be able to do it if you train me, that's probably why your interviews are not converting into offers. Like I said, getting in the room is the first step, but you then need to convert your interviews into offers. How are we converting our interviews into offers? I'm teaching you now. So another thing you need to start doing in your interviews, brag. You need to brag your little butts off. Humble versus bragging. Listen, you can be humble or you can brag. Or you can do a humble brag. Now you can combine the two, but you cannot be humble on its own. Why? These people do not know you. If you don't brag about what you can do, how will they know? They're not going to give you the job and say, okay, let's just give her a chance and see if she's any good. That's really rare these days. You have to really stand out for that to happen. Really, really rare. Like you have to tell them why you should be in that room, why you're going to add value. And you're going to have to do that by, it might feel braggy. And like I said, humble versus humble brag versus bragging. Like respectfully and humbly, like being respectful doesn't need to be humble. Like you can respectfully brag about yourself. You need to get comfortable with bragging about yourself. And the truth is bragging is facts. There's a difference between bragging, like, and lying and actually just talking about your accomplishments. Why do you feel embarrassed to talk about what you've actually achieved in life? Why do you feel embarrassed to talk about all the great things you do for your company? Because listen, companies are not embarrassed when they're getting online saying, oh, we are great. We do great for our staff. We do all these amazing things. And half the staff that work for them is thinking, when, who, where? Because they're like, the company's not even that great, but you're online bragging. Their job adverts are bragging. Companies are not embarrassed to brag, but you're embarrassed to brag about all the great things you do for them. All your accomplishments. You need to start speaking highly of yourself. It's without being cocky. You do not need to be cocky to be confident. Remember when I talked about competency versus confidence? You don't need to be cocky in any way, but if you are competent and good at something, you should be confident speaking about it. You should also never feel bad about speaking highly of yourself. Listen, either you are the main character or you're the sidekick. You decide. Batman or Robin, you decide. Yeah? It's not about being cocky, but it is about knowing either you're the main character in that room or you're the sidekick. And if you're the sidekick and 3 other people come for interview and they're all main characters, guess what? They're getting second interviews and you're getting put to the side. As an introvert, I learned really early on that not speaking up for myself, not talking about all the things I'm great at will have me on the sidelines. Because visibility is everything, even in your current job. Me being able to negotiate better salaries in my current jobs, me being able to negotiate quick promotions and all those type of things has always come down to me being able to talk about what I do, me being visible, me being like, hello, look at me. Again, as much as I'm an introvert, I want what I want. And if that's the only way I'm going to be able to get it, then I'm going to be visible. I'm going to speak up for myself and I'm going to talk about my accomplishments. Now, when I don't want or need anything, I'm in the back being quiet. I know it's hard to believe because on here I'm just talking and chatting away. But when I ain't got nothing to say at work, I'm in the background. Someone will have to say to me sometimes, Adele, have you got anything to add? Because I'm in the meeting with my mouth closed. Because if I don't need nothing from this situation, why do I need to talk? I'm cool. I'm chilling. I just want to get back to my work, to be honest. All these Teams meetings get on my nerves because I don't need to talk to 10 different people for the day. Send me an email. I'll action it and you'll get exactly what you wanted to get. You'll get the exact same result as you would get if you called me. Actually, you calling me is just frustrating me and slowing me down and stopping me from being able to deliver the results. So even as an introvert, these techniques will still work. You've just got to find your way. But if you want it enough, this is my thing. When someone says to me, I'm an introvert and I don't want to have to like sort of talk about myself and brag, I'm like, cool, then you don't want money. If you don't like money, say that. And my clients will tell you, this is how I am. They'll be like, no, but Adele, of course I like money. Okay, cool. So if your bills need to be paid, and because of that, it means you're going to have to be uncomfortable for 5 minutes, be visible for 5 minutes, like actually talk up and say, do you know what? It was because of me that you were able to save that 10K last month. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you talk up if it means a difference between you being able to pay your bills and be able to take your family on amazing holidays and being able to invest versus you struggling to even pay your bills because you're on a crap salary because you don't want to talk up, even though you're actually doing the work. So you do all the work, you deliver all the value, you give all your company all these benefits, but you get nothing in return, all because you don't want to be a little bit uncomfortable. Nah, I learned early on as an introvert, I'd rather be uncomfortable. I'd rather be uncomfortable than broke. I'd rather be uncomfortable than working in an industry that I don't enjoy. I'd rather be uncomfortable than not be in leadership because that's where I thrive. Like, I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to have to suck it up. Like I said, all these Teams meetings that I always have to be on, very annoying. However, I'm very demure, very mindful. Sorry, guys, I had to. I'm very able to deal with them because that is a part of my role in leadership. I need to be customer facing. I need to be client facing. I need to be internal facing. I need to face all the internal stakeholders. I need to show my face and speak up regardless of how I feel about the situation because that is a part of my role and that is what has got me where I am. So just understanding how to do that. So like I said, humble brag versus being humble, bragging overall versus being humble. You're either the main character or you're the sidekick. You get to choose. Storytelling. This is a big one for interviews, and I'm going to do an episode on this because there's not enough time for me to just talk about this now. But you need to start storytelling. Storytelling is really important in interviews because it helps them see you in the role. So what you need to start doing is just telling the story, explaining how you did things because when someone can picture a story, it feels more realistic. So, just like online, when you guys go on to like, I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, and people are telling a story, people get hooked because even if the person's lying, the story sounds real. It's like, oh yeah, it sounds really interesting. I'm telling a story. Stories and detail help convert interviews because they're like, oh, okay, because you're telling them examples. Think about it like examples. I'm giving you an example of how I was able to, I don't know, help grow the customer base at my last job. I'm giving you an example of how I was able to improve the processes in my last job by telling you about an actual process that I improved. So I will often, when I'm in an interview, talk about there was a time when I helped improve payroll. So payroll used to take so many days and then I improved it to the point where it took like a day, less than a day. It took amount of hours to get our payroll done. I talk about that all the time if it's relevant to the job I'm going for. Compliance. I improved the compliance and the speed of our compliance that we had at one of my jobs. I improved the quality. We ended up getting 98% from being like an office that was only delivering 70% compliance. 98% in compliance. I'm obviously going to talk about that if I'm going for a role that includes compliance, governance, anything like that. But I'm going to story tell. I'm going to talk about, when I joined the company, they were only hitting 70% compliance. I noticed that there was a gap in how they assessed X, Y, Z. So then what I did was I looked at, I'm telling the story. Now they're interested. Because firstly, they're nosy and they're like, oh, maybe we can implement this in our company. See, I'm giving them free help. And then on top of that, they're like, oh, if she can do that, she can probably introduce a lot of other things. Now let's listen. Let's see if this person's worth bringing on for second interview. This is why you need to storytell. Yeah? Really, really important. And before we go, I'm just going to round up a couple of other things. Yeah? Your attitude. Your attitude matters. Are you smiling? Are you happy in the interview? I've interviewed people before and the attitude just is like, oh, they seem like they didn't want to be there. And guess what? If you don't want to be here, I agree with you. I don't want you to be here either. Let's hurry up this interview and let me get you out of here. You're not going to get the job if your attitude stinks. And I get it. You've been for so many interviews. You're tired. You don't want to have to smile and be on. But guess what? This is the only time you get to do a first impression. You do not get a second opportunity to do a first impression. So you need to have a good attitude. You need to be happy to be there. You need to be polite. You need to be friendly. In life, in general, don't go outside with a bad attitude. If you're having a bad day, great, but don't mess up other people's day with your bad attitude. So smile. Have a good attitude. Like I said, if you don't want to be there, the energy you give out, people will give back to you. They don't want you to be here either. They're not interested. I don't care if you've got 20 years experience. If you've got a bad attitude, you're just going to come to my office and bring down the morale. I don't need it. I'd rather the person with 6 months experience who's actually in a positive headspace and is going to fit in nicely with my team and let us all be upbeat. I don't want this dark cloud in my office. And most people don't. So fix your attitude. I get it. It's really frustrating when you've been on a lot of interviews and you're not getting offers. But guess what? That bad attitude is not going to help you. It's going to keep you in that same cycle of not getting offers. And do not, at interview, try to negotiate before you've shown you're worth the negotiation. A lot of people off the bat, you're trying to negotiate. You haven't even done a good interview yet. You haven't even shown that you're going to be worth them negotiating the higher salary. You haven't even shown that you're going to be worth them negotiating maybe hybrid or remote. Like, you're just off the bat like, oh yeah, I need this. Okay, cool. But you've not even told us if you're any good. We don't even know at this point if you're any good. So don't try to negotiate before you've shown you're worth the negotiation. And I'm going to say it one more time. Do not try to negotiate before you have shown that you're worth the negotiation. A great interview, proving that you're going to come in and you've got great value add. Yeah, you've got strong skills that they would want, that they would go out to market to look for. You've connected the dots. Interviews are for connecting the dots. You have to tell them why you'd be good at the job. Your CV got you in the room, but you have to, out of your mouth, tell them, oh, I'd be great for you guys. I'd be great because this is what I'd bring to your team. Make sure at the end you're asking the right questions. Yeah, always at the end of the interview. Try and get more information and give yourself opportunity to show again why you'd be great in the job. Listen, I hope this episode has helped someone because, like I said, even if the job market is a bit chaotic right now, somebody is getting job offers. Somebody is still getting the pay rises and the pay increases. Why can't that be you? Even if up until this point you have struggled, use the tips in this episode because it can be you. The reason why the title of this episode is Why Can't It Be You? Is because I want you to think about it. It can be you. These people are no different from you. It's just that they might approach the situation differently. They're not different from you, like I said. They just approach the situation differently. All these tips are the things that have helped my clients in this current 2024 job market to get the offers. This is what's helped my clients switch industry. This is what's helped my clients get promotions and get the pay rises. The 20 and 30k pay rises are still happening. They're just happening slower than they were last year. And I've ended up this year having people get even bigger pay rises. Like a 60k pay rise is insane to me. But I've had people get 60k pay rises. Now, don't get me wrong. I've had someone triple their salary before. But in my mind, that was like a one-off fluke. I helped someone triple their salary. But this year, I've seen people get insane pay rises. I haven't seen as many. So say last year, maybe I saw 30 people, 40 people. Now, maybe I've only seen 15, 20 people. But I've still seen people doing it. People are listening to my podcast and that on its own is helping them get these pay rises. People are booking one-off sessions with me and the one session is changing everything. We're updating the CV, we're changing everything and they come back to me and saying, do you know what, I've booked 4 interviews already. Listen, I've had clients who have booked interviews and they're turning down the job. They're saying, do you know what, Adele, I really, this job was good, but it's not exactly what I want. And now I've got the confidence to go for something else because you've made me realize I can actually get shortlisted. So anything you're not sure of, go back, re-listen to this episode, save it. Listen to it when you need to. The last few episodes I've been doing where I've talked about CVs, where I've talked about interviews, listen, if you put those together, you can smash your next interview. You can smash your next negotiation. Anyway, I'll speak to you in the next episode, and I hope you've enjoyed. I hope this episode gave you exactly what you needed and motivated you to confidently take steps towards your next career move. If you enjoyed it, screenshot and share it on your socials, tag me on Instagram, and come join my community of amazing women working on leveling up their confidence and career. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.